Hi and welcome to another edition of the Business Game. I'm Raj Arya, and today we plan to have a smashing good time. Why? Well, we're exploring badminton. Yes, Malaysia is one of the top badminton nations in the world, and among our midst, we have the world #1 badminton player, none other than Dato' Lee Chong Wei. Now, in terms of badminton, what actually goes about badminton here in Malaysia? Well, we're going to find out by looking at a family which has come up with one of the Malaysia's one-stop badminton center. So if you want to know more about this, just follow me. I'm here right now with Casey Lee, the director of Michael's Badminton Academy and Sports Sendirian Berhad, right here in the heart of Puchong. Casey, thank you for being with us today.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you for coming here.
Fantastic. Now, I can see from this massive complex you have here, how did this first start at the very beginning?
Oh, actually, let me give you an introduction about MBA at first. We started with our first center in Taman Mega, 16 courts. So that was back in 2001. So following the success of that, we opened up our second branch in Bandar Puteri Puchong, which is this center, 32 courts. So it's actually awarded the largest badminton center in Malaysia. Yes.
Wow. You mentioned it was Taman Mega was first. So when was Taman Mega? 16 years ago, was it?
2001. 2001, yeah, about 11 years back.
Right. And you have progressed to this, is it because of the potential, the growth in terms of the overall badminton industry?
Yes, actually back then, I think back in 2001, we were actually the first privatized badminton center in Selangor. Okay, and from then on, we received a lot of overwhelming response and we felt that this is a very good business. So we ventured into Puchong, we built a bigger one. And yeah, it's actually doing very well, you know. At night, we have a lot of people coming to play from different age groups, you know, for kids. So even right now, as you can see, there is our academy that is ongoing.
Right.
Yes.
Quite good. Now, with regards to the courts which you started out, how did it first begin? I heard that it's your father who came up with the idea.
Okay, I'd like to share this story. Alright, it all started in Taman Mega. There's one Sunday night when we were walking in the Pasar Malam. Okay, and then there's this plot of land where my dad saw, you know, land for rent. So he figured, yeah, maybe it's good to do a badminton business. So that was how it all started, you know. So he actually got to the ground, he built up the center. It took months, a lot of investment. So far it's still doing very well.
Right. Is it because your dad was an avid badminton player, or is very passionate about it, or he was involved in the industry before?
No, I think the key word is passionate. He loves badminton a lot. During his younger days, he started from school. He never represented national or anything, but it was just his passion for sports.
Okay.
Yes.
But the interesting thing with regards to this is, given the fact that he wasn't in the industry per se, that means he had to start from absolutely zero base, zero knowledge, zero expertise.
Yes.
Can you share in terms of how did he get it all together to be what it is today?
Well, from his point of view, you know, is that he's been to badminton tournaments, he's been around playing badminton, and he knows what is required of a facility. So, like for this instance, for discussion, you know, we have a hostel here, we have a nutrition club, a pro shop, we even have our own van to provide transport. So, you know, all this come together, it becomes a one-stop badminton center.
Wow.
So yeah, it's actually through all this, you know, like through his experience playing overseas, you know, he knows what is required in the facility.
Right. So from a customer's perspective, he knows what's needed in order to be successful in this business.
Yes, that's correct.
Right. Now, coming back to on a more personal note, I understand this is a family business. I understand that you and the rest of your siblings as well are involved in this business. What are your different roles here?
Well, basically we try to manage, because as you mentioned, you know, it's a family business, everything we have to do it. So right now, like for myself, you know, I recently just joined the business. Previously I was doing construction for the last 6 years.
Okay.
Yeah, and I felt that there was an opportunity to come back. Yeah. So 2 years ago I started working here, and yeah, I've been learning the tricks of the business. Whereas like my sister, she runs more on the management side. okay, and I have another younger sister, so she manages the pro shop. Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, I'm sure that the rest of your siblings had actually come into the business immediately. What compelled you to actually try out in the corporate side or in the private sector before coming back to the family business?
Well, for me, it's like when I did construction, I'm actually very fond of construction. I like to see development, I like to see buildings. So that's how I got into that industry. And previously, my dad was into construction as well, before he diversified into badminton. So yeah, meaning I've invested so many years in my education. So I actually went out to gain outside exposure. And why I came back is after working outside for that number of years, I felt that maybe it's time to come out and do business, try something different. Yeah. So that's how it started, yeah.
Excellent. So Casey, with regards to the Taman Mega one, when you set it up in 2001, how much was the initial investment, roughly?
Well, back then, it was around close to about 1.5 to 2 mil. Yeah, just to start up. Yeah.
Start up. So with everything, with the required renovations, the courts, the flooring, and so forth.
Yeah, but back then again, I think costs. We spent a little bit more money in terms of designing the building because it's our first center, so we wanted everything proper. So in terms of design, I think we've invested a little bit more.
Right.
Yeah, but with today's construction escalating price, it's definitely worth much more now.
Worth much more. That's fantastic. But that land, did you purchase the land or was it? Are you renting that land?
We're renting that land.
Renting
yeah.
the land.
Sadly, we may move next year actually.
Oh, because the lease is up, is it?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
Now, with regards to the one which you have here, which is way bigger, which you built in 2004, how much was the cost for this one?
Okay, this one was about 4.5 mil. Yeah, back then when we constructed this.
Right.
Yeah, because we have added facilities. We
Exactly.
even have hostels. So
Right.
there is a two-story structure in front of the building.
Fantastic. Now, with regards to this particular piece of land, why Puchong, Bandar Puchong Putri, right?
Yes. Back then in 2004, actually this place was really, I would say, a very dead town.
Yeah.
It was an upcoming development. My dad has that foresight to see that there is potential growth
yeah.
in this area in Puchong. So hence we actually embarked on it and we built this center. Meaning Puchong is a population of I would say 300 to 500,000 people. So there is a very good catchment here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Now, I noticed, as you mentioned, you are one-stop badminton center in essence. Can you tell us in terms of what was your business strategy or business model with regards to having this one-stop?
Well, in terms of badminton, we try to portray ourselves as the one-stop badminton center. We offer ranges of services from organizing tournaments, sports tourism, even going outbound, international tournaments. We bring players to go and play in tournaments. And of course, we have our academy, our court rental. So we have a series of things and how we manage it.
Alright.
So we actually see like which one is more profitable, which one has potential growth. So we actually study the aspects.
Right. I noticed you have multiple source of revenue streams, as you mentioned, from the academy side, then of course from the rentals and organizing events, of course hostels, so I'm sure drinks, equipment and so forth. So what would probably be your top 2 revenue generators?
I would say top 2. One is the academy. Academy has a lot of potential. A lot of kids would love to learn badminton, so that's a very good source of revenue. Second would be court rental, just to maintain the occupancy. That would help us a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of the academy, how long has the academy been running?
Ever since we started,
Oh,
year
right.
2001. Yes.
Right. So the academy started from the very beginning, and it's catered for who are the age groups and what kind of coaching techniques which you use?
Actually, anyone can learn badminton. Even right now, I'm learning badminton. I just started learning badminton this year. But usually, I think it will be kids, to teach them skills. So they can start as young as 7, and then we groom them, Meaning 7 is always grassroots.
Right.
So 7 to 11 is grassroots. And those who have started at 7, by 11 or by 12, they should be quite good, So we will take them more seriously, get them to join more classes and, we groom them to become players. so they can represent the state, the school, and even better, our national team. Yeah.
Has there been any one of your students, notable students, who have progressed quite significantly?
Yes, the students that we had, usually what we do is that we groom them
Yep.
up to state level. So they will go for a state selection, and some of them got selected.
Right.
Yeah, and then those who are better, they will get into the Bukit Jalil Sports School.
Right. That's where the progression takes place. And now, for example, how many kids or how many students do you have under your academy at this point in time?
Oh, we have a total of about 200 and growing.
Wow.
200 students and growing. Yeah, and part of it actually, like some of our students, for MBA, we embarked on a charity event program. Yeah, so this one is actually for underprivileged children. So we have about 80 students or so from the underprivileged children.
Right. So something like a CSR to be able to groom these kids a chance to excel in badminton.
Yes, that's correct.
Right. Now, one other interesting thing which I would like to ask you about with regards to your hostel, I understand these are catered for those who are coming from out of town, perhaps come for a 1 week, 2 week stint, and I believe there are even those who are coming from as far as overseas.
Yes, that's correct. Yes, so we call this sports tourism, So like part of our package includes like, let's just say a week's program, 7 days, 6 nights. So we will allocate maybe training twice a day, and then part of it is that we will include a tour. Depends where they want to go, KL, Genting, any place, So because we have our own private van as well, so that actually helps with all the management.
So in essence, a chance for training as well as a holiday right here in Malaysia.
That's correct.
We're now here on the first floor of the Michaels Badminton Academy. As we can see behind me is the layout of the entire badminton center. Just a quick one, with regards to your badminton center, you were one of the first, as you mentioned just now. Roughly how many badminton centers are there right now?
Well, I would think there's easily 30 to 50, just in the Klang Valley itself.
Wow, that would imply that the demand would be there for playing badminton, learning about badminton and taking up as a serious sport.
Badminton to me is our national sport. It's a sport that we have a very good chance of winning an Olympic gold. So yes, there's definitely great demand.
Yeah, let's just hope Dato Lee Chong Wei will recover from his injury. Now coming back to this, what differentiates Michaels compared to the many badminton academies out there?
Well, what I could think of is our location. We've invested in a commercial area where there's a lot of facilities nearby. That would help us in organizing international standard tournaments. So for instance, we are having one upcoming tournament in July. So we have about 19 countries participating in this tournament. So yeah, with all these facilities, it's easier to manage.
With regards to these tournaments, I believe you also organize quite a number of other local tournaments. Is it profitable?
Well, usually no, but we'll try and manage. We'll still go out and try seeking for sponsors, because the major important cost is always the technical officials and the shuttlecocks. So these are the key important things that we need to take into account. Whereas for courts, we can always sponsor, I think that's not a problem.
Definitely. Now, in the many years which you have been operating, who are the major sponsors you have been working very closely with?
Well, I would say isotonic drinks like 100 Plus, FNN. So we've been working very closely with them. In terms of our pro shop, the retailers, I think we get better discounts in that sense because of the purchase, the traffic, like
the bulk purchases
yes.
And the quantities.
Yes,
and
the
all
volume,
that.
the volume of
that's
sales.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think that's about it now.
Right. Now, this is with regards to sponsorship. Now, the other critical question is in terms of support from the government, be it the Ministry of Sports and the National Sports Council, Badminton Association Malaysia. With regards to Michaels Academy in particular, are there any strong joint ventures or partnerships with regards to them?
Not in the last 10 years. But the thing is that when any tournaments, we always just seek their blessing. So from that aspect, they do give us their support. They allow us to use their logo at certain times. So that is about the support that they can give. Yeah.
Right. Are there any things in the pipeline with regards to working with them? Like for example, the international tournament which you're about to have.
Well, maybe on other programs. Recently we just hired a new coach, so we are actually coming up with programs for school children. So we hope to work with the ministries on that. Ministry of Youth and Sports for grassroots development. So yeah, that's in the pipeline.
Okay, one final quick question with regards to Michael's Academy. Where would you like to see yourself in perhaps 5 years from now? What do you hope to achieve?
Well, in 5 years from now, we'll be in LCCT, nearby LCCT.
Right.
Because this land is also leased. So we actually bought our own piece of land, and I think we're going to focus there. So I think being away, not too far from the airport, I believe there is another potential growth there.
Wow.
So,
Fantastic. Anyway, it's time for us to take a very quick short break, but right after that, we're going to take a look at the more technical aspects in terms of their pro shop. So stay tuned.